It gives us great honor at this time to welcome today's commencement speaker, Lou Holtz. Coach Holtz is ranked among the best college football coaches in America. Coach Holtz is a man who not only proven his ability to win, after all, he chalked up a record-breaking winning season at Notre Dame as well as capturing the national championship in 1988. He has shown his strength and wisdom as a leader time and time again. In one of his 3 New York Times best-selling books, he writes, and in the book Winning Every Day, he writes, "Your talent determines what you can do. Your motivation determines how much you're willing to do. Your attitude determines how well you can do it." Coach Holtz started out his athletic career as a linebacker at Kent State in the 1950s. After 2 seasons, an injury ended his career, and maybe that was one of the best things that ever happened to him. His motivation showed what he was willing to do. Coach the game that he loved, and his attitude determined how well he coached. He is the only college football coach to take 6 different teams to a bowl game, win 5 bowl games with different teams, and have 4 different college teams ranked in the final top 20 poll. During his 11 seasons at Notre Dame, he took the Fighting Irish to 9 straight traditional January postseason bowls. That's something that no other coach in the country has matched. He compiled a 243, 127, and 7 career record that ranked him 3rd in victories among active coaches and 8th in winning percentage. His 12 career postseason bowl victories rank him 5th on the all-time list. 10 years after earning a bachelor's degree in history from Kent State and a master's degree from Iowa in arts and education in 1961, Coach Holtz started his coaching career at William & Mary at the age of 32 in 1969. His 2nd season, the team won the Southern Conference title, and Coach Holtz went on to coach at North Carolina State from 1972 to 75, Arkansas from 1977 to 1983, Minnesota 1984 to 85, and for less than 1 season he also coached the NFL's New York Jets in 1976. After coaching the Fighting Irish at Notre Dame for 11 seasons, he joined CBS Sports College Football Today for 2 seasons as a sport analyst. In 1999, Coach Holtz returned to the gridiron where he led the Gamecocks of the University of South Carolina to back-to-back bowl games for the first time in the history of the school and defeated Ohio State in consecutive bowl appearances. After a successful coaching career, Coach Holtz now serves as a commentator on ESPN and as a motivational speaker. He was inducted in the class of 2008 College Football Hall of Fame and is a 2008 recipient of the Notre Dame Monogram Club's highest honor, the Moose Krause Distinguished Service Award. The Walter Camp Football Foundation, an award presented annually to an individual who has attained a measure of success and been a leader in his chosen profession, named Lou Holtz 1988's Man of the Year. This is the 2nd time Coach Holtz has been saluted by that organization, named for the legendary father of American football. In 1997, while at Arkansas, he was named Coach of the Year. It is clear that Coach Holtz's gift of coaching is present on and off the field. He is both a motivator and a teacher. Lou Holtz and his wife, Beth, are the parents of 4 children and will celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary in July. We are honored and pleased to welcome Lou Holtz as Trine University's 2011 commencement speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor, for a beautiful introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the type of introduction I can listen to all day. And just like you, I thought I was going to have to. I think I was 4 minutes into range. Hey, congratulations on your success. When I say congratulations on your success, I'm speaking to everybody. I'm speaking to the faculty here at Trine University for the great job you've done. I'm speaking to the Board of Trustees at Trine for a most impressive visit here. I mean the cleanliness, the commitment to excellence everywhere. Congratulations to the parents and the friends that helped encourage these graduates to get where they are. And certainly congratulations to the graduates that we're celebrating here today. Also, congratulations to your women's softball team, which is going to make the NCAA, won the conference for the 4th year in a row, and to your football team for another undefeated season. So I think that's great. Now, 10% of you won't remember 10% of what is said 10 minutes after I said it. But I hope for the next few minutes I can just share some thoughts and ideas. Now, the first thing I want you to understand, I've been 21. You've never been 74. So I'm not going to preach it. I'm not going to lecture to you. I'm going to share thoughts and ideas. First of all, Doctor told you who I am. Let me tell you who I'm not. I'm not a singer. I'm not a dancer. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not an intellect. I hate to tell you this, but when I graduated from high school, I was in the lower half of my high school class. If it was not for people like me, there could have been no upper half of the class. Somebody said, well, you've written 3 New York Times best-selling books. That is true. You're looking at the only guy in the world that's written more books than he has read. And I bring this to you because it's not about talent. I wasn't a great athlete, but I do think that it's just a case of wanting to do something. See, there are a lot of things in this world I don't understand. I don't understand why they sell hot dogs in packages of 8 and hot dog buns in packages of 6. I don't understand why women buy their wedding dresses and men rent their tux. I don't understand why some people born with so much achieve so little. I really don't understand why some people born with so little achieve so much. I don't understand why people tell other people about their problems. The one thing you're going to have the rest of your life, you're going to have problems, you're going to have difficulties, you're going to have challenges. Accept them, understand that's part of life, and find solutions to it. Don't complain about them. Because let me tell you something from an old man, 90% of the people don't care about your problems. And the other 10% are glad you got them, so you're better off keeping them yourself. And, you know, now that you're graduating, you have obligation, you have responsibilities. The thing I find today, everybody wants to talk about their rights and their privileges. 40 years ago, we talked about our obligation, responsibilities. Your decision to attend Trine University was the second most important decision you'll make in your entire life. Obviously, the most important decision is who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. But be proud of what you're part of. And make sure that you give back. You can't repay the people that got you here, but you do have an obligation to repay them. And I'm proud to say that I graduated from Kent State University. You know, people didn't know much about it, but I want to tell you, you have a pride in what you did, and it influenced my life, and it changed my life for the better. So always be proud that you're from Trine University and continue to support this university by paying alumni dues, et cetera. I'm not being paid to come here. I'm telling you this because this is critical to any university to be part of, be proud of it, and sing about the praise you go along. You have no idea the positive impact Trine will have on your life till years from now. And attitude's going to be critical the rest of your life. You're going to have people say negative things. You're going to have people doubt you. Do not be discouraged by the 99 people who don't believe in you. Be encouraged by the one person that does. People are always going to be telling you can't do something. Every story I tell you is absolutely true. I'm at Notre Dame. We're going down to Florida to play, to the Sugar Bowl to play Florida. We're an underdog I felt would win. Nobody else did. I sent the team home for 2 days to be with their family. I took my wife and my 4 children to Orlando. Now, we have 4 children. They're all girls but 2, and I'm real proud of that fact. And I took my wife, family out to dinner. I want to pause here and say, if you want some great advice, listen to your spouse. There's nobody knows you any better, loves you anymore, wants to see you succeed anymore. My wife's not only somebody I love dearly, she's my best friend. And I said that the other day, and the guy said, no, wife's not your best friend, the dog is. I said, no, my wife is. He said, try this, lock your dog in your wife's trunk of the car, come back in an hour, see which one's happy to see you. But we go out to dinner. I'm in a great mood. True story. The waiter came up and he recognized me. He said, you're Lou Holtz, head coach at Notre Dame, aren't you? And I said, yes, sir. And I took out my pen thinking he wanted an autograph. And he said, Coach, let me ask you a question. He said, what's the difference between Notre Dame and Cheerios? I said, I don't have a clue. He said, Cheerios belong in a bowl, Notre Dame doesn't. Well, I tell you, I'm rather competitive. It put me in a bad mood, made me mad. My wife said to me, you're going to let somebody you never met before, you're never going to see again, He doesn't care a single thing about you, and you're going to let him ruin this evening with your family. She said, you're smarter than that. You can't let other people control your thoughts. I said, you're right, honey. He's not going to ruin this evening. My attitude changed. I got in such a great attitude, I called the waiter back over, and I said, son, let me ask you a question. What's the difference between Lou Holtz and a golf pro? He said, I don't have a clue. I said, a golf pro gives tips, which he found out when the evening's over. So, see, it's not complicated, but attitude is critical. And the one thing I urge you to do is use common sense. Look at it and say, what would I do if I didn't know this problem could not be solved? So many people get caught up in things that really aren't important. Now, I try to use common sense. Now, this story is basically true, but I will embellish it. When I was in the 7th grade, I had a nun by the name of Sister Mary Harriet who disliked me, and probably with good cause. Because I was always saying things that irritated her. Like, there was a time Catholics could not eat meat on Friday the year round. You had to eat fish. I don't like fish, so every Friday I'd complain about, I wish the apostles had been ranchers rather than fishermen. And I could never understand why Paul keep writing to Corinthians when they never wrote them back. You know, just things like it. And she asked me to spell Mississippi. I said the river of the state. You know, I was just one of these guys that created problems. But true story, we had a test in the 7th grade, and I finished for everybody else. And I started looking around out of boredom. I was not trying to cheat, but she thought I was. Because she hollered in front of the whole class, Lou Holtz, if I even suspect you of cheating, I'm taking 10% off your grade. And I got out the textbook and said, 90 sounds good to me. So always look and say, what's the simplest solution? That's all I try to do. The other two things I want to leave you with this is have dreams. Dreams are critical. Everybody needs 4 things in your life, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to need something to do, something you're passionate. Everybody needs someone to love. Everybody needs something to hope for. And everybody needs someone to believe in. If you don't have all 4 of those things, you're going to find a void. But having something to hope for is what dreams are. Martin Luther King made one of the 10 greatest speeches in history of mankind, where he changed this country for the better, where he made a comment in a speech where he said, I have a dream. And it motivated people and inspired people and changed this country for the better. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to consider this. One man had a dream that changed this world. Now, let me ask you this in all due respect to Martin Luther King. Do you think that speech would have had the same effect? That he stood up and said, I have a strategic plan I want to show you. I'm telling you, strategic plans don't, but having dreams and goals and hopes and ambitions is absolutely critical. And when you get to be successful, and I want to say this to everybody in the audience, if you listen to nothing else I've said. When I left the University of Notre Dame, I never thought I'd coach again. Where to go from Notre Dame? According to my mother, go directly to heaven. You sit by the Pope, you don't coach. And then I went to live in a town where the average age was deceased. And when I found out, I was not tired of coaching. There's a rule of life that said you're either growing or you're dying. The tree's either growing or it's dying, so's grass. So's a marriage, so's a business, so's a person. Doesn't have a thing to do with age. There are no age restrictions on having goals and dreams, and all you have to do is be around John McKetta for a couple of minutes and you realize that. But no matter what you do the rest of your life, always has something you aspire to do. You know, we're very successful in Notre Dame. You reach a point, you say, you know, this is pretty good. Let's not take any risks. Let's not jeopardize. Let's maintain. And anytime you try to maintain anything in your life, you have no reason to celebrate. You never come up with enthusiasm. You have no excitement. All you're trying to do is maintain. That's why it's so critical to have always things you want to aspire and do. And you also know this, a life's a matter of choices. Wherever you are today, good, bad, or indifferent, because of choices you make. As I tell the athletes, choose to do drugs, choose to drop out of school, choose to run with the wrong people, choose to have 5 children out of wedlock. You're choosing to have difficulties in your life. Just make good choices. And you ask yourself this question. If you didn't go home, would anybody miss you and why? If you didn't show up at work, would anybody miss you and why? If your company went out of business, would anybody miss you and why? Say, if Delta Airlines went out of business, nobody missed it because you could go fly United and it'd be late and it'd be rude and it'd lose your luggage. I mean, they're all the same. Nobody'd miss them because they're not different. They're all the same. And up the lady said, this suitcase to New York, that one's to Los Angeles, this one to Chicago. She said, oh, we can't do that. I said, you did it the last time I flew your life. Now, Delta's different. Disney is different. If Disney went out of business, you'd miss them. Why? It's different. It's unique. So let's just make sure the rest of our life we make good choices. We make sure that if we didn't show up, we'd be missed. People say, how do you make good choices? All my life, I've only had 3 rules. And I say this to you, as I've been 21, you haven't been 74. You follow these 3 rules, you don't need any more the rest of your life. Rule number 1 is do right. Just do what's right and avoid what's wrong. It's not hard. I think it's right to be honest, right to be on time. I think it's wrong to practice sexism, racism, spousal abuse. I think it's wrong to be bitter. We've all had injustices done, but you can't go through life being bitter. Just stop and say, what's the right thing? There are too many people go through life blaming everybody else. It's the only joke I tell. My wife gets mad when I do. A guy's 78 years of age. She'll be 83 years of age. He's in the hospital. He's sick. He's dying. His wife is with him. So that's why I remember we got married. And I got fired from my first 3 jobs, and you were always there with me, encouraged me. And then I joined the Army. You joined the nurses course. You could be with me. When I was wounded, you're right there with me, encouraging me and supporting me. And after the service, I started 5 businesses. They all failed, and you're always there and supporting me. And here I'm 83 years of age. You're still with me, supporting me. He said, I want you to know I've come to the conclusion you're bad luck. You know, it's that mentality is somebody else's. Just do the right thing. Rule number 2, do everything to the very best of your ability. Not because somebody's looking, not because somebody awarded you, not because somebody gave you a plaque. It's just the way you live. Do everything to the best of your ability. If you want to fail, you have the right to fail. You do not have the right to cause other people to fail because you don't fulfill your obligations. You bring a child in the world, you join a spouse, you join a business. You have obligations. Understand that other people's hopes and dreams or future rest upon you doing your role to the very best of your ability in everything you do. And the last rule is show people you care. My wife is a great person. She had cancer, stage 4. They gave her 10% chance to live. Her weight went from 129 to 89. I'm happy to report that she's doing well now. I don't even pray for her anymore. I pray to her. She's a saint. But she doesn't do many interviews. She did 1 interview. I asked her what she learned from having cancer. She said, I learned how much my family loved me. We didn't love my wife anymore. We just showed it more. Isn't it a shame that she had gone most of her life and not realized how much we loved her? So just follow those 3 rules. Do the right thing. Do the best you can. Show people you care. The reason that's important because everybody you meet the rest of your life has 3 simple questions. Question everybody asks, can I trust you? Without trust, there can be no relationship. There's only way you're always going to have trust. And that's to do the right thing. It's important to do the right thing so people can always trust you. Second question everybody asks, are you committed to excellence? Do you want to be good? You can have all the slogans you want. First will be best, then will be first. You send a message whether you're committed by the standards you have. And the last question everybody asks is, do you care about me? That's why you always want to reach out and show people you care. And it's that simple. Take somebody you love, admire, and respect. Take somebody you got a problem with. Put these 3 questions on both people, yes or no. Can I trust them, yes or no? They committed to excellence, yes or no? Do they care about me, yes or no? I guarantee the person you admire and respect, you said yes to all 3 questions. Person you got a problem with, you can't trust them, can't commit it, don't care. All I try to do is associate myself with people I can trust who were committed and care. Put your arm around them, hug them, never let them go. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I didn't come to preach to you or lecture to you, but these are things I feel. At the University of Notre Dame, they have a statue to me. You go up there to gate 4, gate D. I guess they need a place for the pigeons to land. I don't know. But don't look at the statue, but look at the base of the statue. There's 3 words: trust, commitment, love. That's our core values. That's what we believe. That's what I've tried to teach. That's what I believe, and they have never failed me. Congratulations once again. When I knew up here, 10%, when I stood up here, I knew 10% of you wouldn't remember. 10% of what I said 10 minutes after I said it. But for the last 20 minutes, you gave me most prized possession. I appreciate that. and I congratulate you once again. Remember, if you didn't show up, would anybody miss you, and why? I leave you with this very last thought. You want to be happy for an hour? Eat a steak. You want to be happy for a day? Play golf. You want to be happy for a week? Go on a cruise. You want to be happy for a month? Buy a new car. You want to be happy for a year? Win the lottery. You want to be happy for a lifetime? Make a difference in people's lives. Thank you for having me.